Greetings. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at what I am playing in Path of Exile 3.19 Calandra League. I am currently trying to put together a Carrion Golem build. So I am running 2 of the Clay Shapers and a 6-link Divergent Summon Carrion Golem. So I've been enjoying this league, and I'm going to do a map in the background while I talk about the build. So I started out as playing Absolution, and I wanted to do Cold Conversion, and I actually wanted to play that in the end game. However, I ended up switching off of it. The damage started to fall off around tier 10 maps. This is just a tier 5, I believe. So since the damage started to fall off, I decided, you know what, why don't we try something else? And so I landed on Carrion Golems because the Clay Shaper got buffed this patch. And as you can see, the clear is really nice. We use Pale Seraphims as our Spectres. They, I believe they apply some sort of debuff. I'm not actually entirely sure what they do. That's just what was recommended, so that's what I went with. And this is the Calandra League mechanic. Basically, you have an entrance, and you have a few different tiles on here. You're trying to get the best rewards as far away from the entrance as you possibly can. We see here this one has a difficulty of 9. This one will have a difficulty of 10, and this one will have a difficulty of 11. I am currently trying to unlock this Exile choice by completing a Beyond node at difficulty of 10 or more. So if you didn't know, you can unlock these special little abilities down at the bottom by doing certain challenges. So I've currently exiled Reflection of Chaos and Reflection of Frost. So I will never see those on this tablet. Each tablet you do, you get to choose new ones to exile. So if I wanted to exile Lightning on the next one, I could do so. So that's what I'm currently working on for the League mechanic. And so I'm just going to throw something on there. And the ones with the little marks on the edges are basically a advanced tile, and they will offer typically currency rewards is what I get from those. I have seen scarabs and several other things. I'm making a list so that way I can figure out what all gives what. As far as upgrades for the build goes, I'm currently working towards the Anima Stone. I got very lucky and found a Doctor card last night. I believe it was Spider Forest. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was the one I was in. So that was very, very lucky. There were only about 8 on the market. So that also influenced my decision to continue down the Carrion Golem path, because this build is rather expensive, with some of the uniques being multiple divines. I just paid 3 divines for this Skin of the Lords that has elemental equilibrium. I'm planning on using something with an Arcanist brand to trigger that. So that way we will get a little bit of extra damage out of our chest piece. Here we'll see how it handles Expedition, which is also one of the main ways I plan on making money. If you guys aren't doing Expedition, I highly recommend it. Mainly for the logbooks, that's the way you make money. You can either run them yourself or sell them. I've also decided to put a little bit of rarity onto my gear. I believe I have rarity on these 2 rings and rarity on the amulet. So it should be somewhere around 80% rarity at the moment. I noticed a drastic increase to the amount of rares that a map boss drops when I did that. And I have sold several of those rares for 8 chaos here and there. So probably made 40 chaos by switching some rarity onto my rings. We'll try and find the map boss, that way you guys can see the single target a little bit. There will be a Path of Building link to this build It is not a path of building that I built myself, but is one that I highly recommend, and I'm planning on following pretty much everything in there, so you guys can enjoy that. Also, if you like this build and the way it looks, make sure to drop me a follow, because I am planning on continuing to cover this build and do kind of a little mini series on how the progression goes, how it's feeling in different stages of the game, and that sort of thing. So make sure to subscribe and follow, because that'll be rather interesting to see how it handles stuff like major bosses and maybe even some Uber content. We'll see. So you can kind of see the single target there on that essence node, which is typically harder than the map boss most of the time. Everything just kind of dies, and we're done. So that is what that map looks like. Like I said, I plan on farming tier 5 to 7, somewhere in that range, content for a little while. I suggest you guys do the same, because the league mechanic, I have heard, is very rippy in higher tier maps. So that's going to be interesting once we get there and see how that all plays out. But if you're interested in seeing that content, make sure to subscribe, like I said, because I will be doing build updates probably every 2 days or so is what I plan on doing. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.